Hey guys, welcome to the 5th episode of Us in Limbo. Sorry we've been missing for a while now. We actually missed an episode yesterday as our scheduled upload there, and last week. Had a lot of life stuff going on between, we've both been unwell. Yeah,
and it was my birthday.
And yeah, it was her birthday last week and so jam-packed. And then obviously she's actually just started uni recently. So we're actually finding it a bit more difficult to find some time in the weekends to get recording and such.
Yeah, and I've been working a lot more as well. Yeah.
Our topic today is going to be a little bit more controversial, I think. Probably one of the first of... I do want to say many controversial videos, as I do feel like having controversy or controversial topics is quite engaging almost. We're going to be talking about the things that we like and dislike in fashion. The reason we find this is controversial is because we'll most likely, I guess, be calling out some stuff that we personally don't like in regards to fashion, but also be going over things that we love.
And you guys might agree with it, you might not agree with it.
Yeah, so these are just solely opinions. Yeah. So you're obviously allowed to have your own opinion and such. There's no such thing as a wrong opinion.
But I feel like making your own judgment about how you perceive fashion is very important for you as a person to be able to appreciate it a lot more personally instead of what influences around you.
So the first topic we're going to be talking about is the creativity behind the fashion industry. So this is something that can be boiled down to basically the entirety of it.
From the start to finish to the consumer.
Exactly, yeah. So it goes from design, the history behind each product, the production of the product.
Production of fabrics, production of like the marketing side of it as well.
Obviously then it comes on the consumer side of things, where how people actually wear the items of clothing. So this is something that is just so limitless. There's so many ways you can do it. It varies from like, I guess, crazy silhouettes, stuff like that, maybe like even design processes, like Iris Van Herpen would do, where she 3D prints her stuff like that. Yeah. Comme des Garçons, where Ray basically does the crazy shapes that she produces on the runways. Tom Brown even, where the runways are such a spectacle to watch. It's just something that I absolutely love to see. Obviously the history of each item, it's just like seeing where the influences come from, seeing direct influences and seeing how it translates from like movies or like, I guess, screenplays, anything.
Yeah, like the military, like anything.
Yeah, seeing where the inspiration come from is super interesting to me and such like that. And obviously production as well, where that kind of ties into where it's like the way things are produced, how like some items can take 15 to 20 hours to make for a single item of clothing, pair of shoes.
And like even the way fabrics are produced as well from the fiber, it could be natural or synthetic fibers, or you can use recycled fibers, and it's just a whole realm and business as well that can just, it's like an endless possibility to produce something completely new.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such an interesting way, and it just captures me so much, and I feel like I just love looking into it. It's just a great thing about it.
Because of how long the process is, you just end up appreciating one single item so much, and you can just love it like forever, basically. Yeah.
So another thing that we both love about the I guess fashion is the community. So the community is something that is great in the fashion, I guess, kind of area. Community boils down to friends who are interested into fashion, online communities into fashion. Community can be boiled down, well, not boiled down, it's such a diverse area, you know, like eventually you can make friends through it like that.
Around
you can,
the
I guess, around the world. I personally have friends located in like Europe, America. It's who I talk to on a daily basis. Japan. You probably have more people in Japan than me.
I guess so.
It's one of the things that brings people closer together. Obviously, this is something that can be attributed to a lot of different areas outside of fashion, but it's something in fashion, obviously, that is quite strong there, more than anything else, I'd say, as well. Being drawn to the way people dress in the same community than you, become friends with that kind of stuff like that.
You learn off each other as well.
Exactly, yeah.
As lame as it sounds, that like fashion does bring everyone together despite how far you are in the world or the languages you speak aren't the same. But because of these similarities that you have interests in, can really bring you guys together and like make really good friends out of them.
We're going to be into stuff we dislike now. So we had a little bit to talk about what we like. Going back, we have the community. One of the things we actually dislike a lot, or I personally dislike, I don't think you have that much of a strong opinion on me, is that I dislike a lot of the community within fashion as well.
As involved in it as much as you, I guess.
Yeah, so I would definitely say the community is one of the things that I actually really do dislike about fashion as well. There's also a lot of this ties into the next thing I was going to mention, which I guess I can explain and expand on this topic as well, is the elitism. So the community in fashion is divided, I'd say, into a bunch of different subsectors of people who are different aesthetics. So, and I feel like a lot of these certain aesthetics are quite gatekeepy, and they often...
And like name dropping brands for the sake of name dropping.
Yeah, they feel like having this knowledge even. yeah, knowledge
Yeah.
in this kind of, I guess, quotation brackets
Yeah.
makes them cooler than other people or better than other people, and I just think that's really not the right way to think about it. You can obviously think of it if you want, not saying you can't, but this is something that I feel like is quite the opposite of what fashion should be. Fashion should be one of those things where you should be willing to help with people's information, expanding knowledge
And,
for
like,
the sake of it.
constructive criticism instead of just like berating someone because you just think it looks subjectively stupid.
Yeah, and also in terms of elitism, it makes you obviously think if you do own these brands and you wear these brands, it makes you better than someone who doesn't wear these brands. This also ties into the higher end fashion, but also the lower end fashion as well. People who think that if you thrift everything, you dress better than someone who wears exclusively all like Yoji or Rick or something like that. Where it's just so, it happens on both ends of the spectrum. There's a nice middle ground, you know?
Of just respecting each other.
Yeah, and that's what I think
Yeah.
fashion should be, and I feel like there's not enough of that these days. Which is the sad truth, I would say.
Like, in regards to gatekeeping, I feel like you shouldn't seem like you own this brand because you have so much of it in your closet and you've spent so much money on one particular brand or a few little, like several brands. Doesn't mean that you are better than someone else because they're into several brands and they own one piece of one little thing that they personally enjoy, and you just shouldn't put someone down because you think that you own better things than someone else.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the second thing we're talking about in terms of stuff that we dislike is Instagram brands / almost influencers and startup brands.
Yeah.
These are all kind of, I guess, tied into the same area. The reason that I personally have a gripe with these is because they're usually just, I guess, taking advantage of what's popular right now and not really, I guess, following what creative vision they have as a whole. They're
Or
just
like
taking,
a genuine ethos of the brand.
yeah, they're just kind of being like, okay, this is popular right now. Here's how to
make
make a
money
quick
off
buck.
it.
Yeah, that's something to me that doesn't personally quite sit right with me, at least. Like, obviously, there's nothing wrong with doing it. You know, everyone's out.
That's a business. Like,
Yeah.
fashion is a business. Everything is how the economy works.
But again, it's just something that I personally dislike. I feel like it's not what fashion is about, you know? Like, just directly seeing that, let's say, for example, the entire, like, Carhartt Junior stuff.
Oh, like paint
The
splatter.
paint splatter stuff, the
Margiela
helmet
paint
lane,
splatter,
Margiela,
yeah.
of course. It obviously...
It's an inspiration of archival.
Yeah, they go back and saying,
avant-garde
oh, everyone wants to have all
designers.
these archival drawings, you know? And they're like, okay, so let's just make our own copy of it.
And like reps, basically.
Yeah, these borderline replicas, you know, and it's just something that isn't obviously replicas fall into another entirely category of its own realm. So in tying on with this, startup brands almost are like this, but usually a lot worse. Solely because a lot of the time they're just using really cheap blanks, screen printed on Gildan or something cheaper, you know, like that. I think Comfort Colors is not popular one,
Like,
but Comfort Colors is
I think
better.
it's okay if you do wish to print on Gildan, just don't mark it up to the point where it is.
Ludicrously, like $100
Yeah.
for a sweatshirt, that's a $5 shirt.
It's just like a terrible quality t-shirt.
Yeah. Another thing that falls into the same realm, this is almost like fast fashion in the sense, what I kind of dislike, because obviously these brands are ripping off high-end fashion. They're seeing what's popular right now, what people are buying, and then obviously...
It's just such a temporary cycle of clothing.
Yeah, they're producing it to such an extent where that it's just such a harmful impact on the environment, you know, and it's just... People who buy fast fashion and still support it these days to such an extent where they rotate their wardrobe out so often instead of buying pieces for a lifetime or buying second-hand clothing. It's just such a poor choice, I guess.
And it's just like a huge tangent of like how negative it is like affecting the environment and the industry, where like if you do wish to like be into fashion, one thing like I personally believe in is you should definitely try and make it last and like respect the environment and have a longevity to the product that you are consuming.
So yeah, there's a little bit about, I guess, what we really dislike in fashion. Obviously, this is one of those things where we kind of rant and rave a little bit.
It could sound pretentious if you think that, that's fine.
It's fine, probably are a little bit pretentious.
Yeah.
There's no shame in it.
And like that's like this is what we personally believe in, and like I understand if you feel a little bit upset over it. I respect that.
But I mean, I feel like anyone who's reasonable enough probably wouldn't take offense to this sort of stuff that we've said here. I think it's pretty general, I'd say. I'd definitely say that what we've said today isn't that super controversial. It is, but I think a lot of people would also have the same opinion as us.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So thank you for watching anyway today. Sorry we have been a little bit slack on the videos. It's just hard with all the life stuff. We didn't really, I guess, expect it to be as time consuming.
And our next video will be very exciting.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll have a new video next week. It'll definitely be a lower content, like a lower quality video. But we do have... I was going to say, it's a pickup video. We have a lot of pickups really excited about recently. I'm excited to talk about. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. They'll be definitely up next Saturday, as it doesn't take a lot of time to record.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Thanks for watching
Thank
again.
you.
And remember to like, subscribe, and comment if you have any questions, any suggestions. We'd love to actually hear some discussion on the topic today.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, thanks for watching and enjoy your week.